And we are live. Hi everyone, it's Gina, and I'm back with day 10 of Create with Gina. And let me go ahead and grab the one from yesterday so I can share that with you. Today is going to be a rather short episode. I know it's Friday. We've been through quite a bit this past week. It's probably your first week of homeschooling your children, and you're probably just happy to get to Friday. And you're probably wondering, do we have to do much more of this? We don't know how long all of this is gonna keep on going, right? But there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. We may not be able to find it right now, but I'm sure that with a little bit of guidance over the next few months, we will be able to get to that point. Well, yesterday we talked about designing or being the architect of your life, and we designed a castle. And in that castle, we had all of the different layers and rooms and specific things that we wanted to see as part of our particular comfort castle. So I haven't posted mine as yet because I'm actually not quite finished, but I wanted to share with you a little bit of what I've done, and you can see some of the areas that I've already filled in. So just to give you an idea of what yours should look like, yours does not have to be as detailed as mine is. Remember that you are creating your particular comfort castle, and this is just what I've done so far. So if you do want to go back and do that particular one, just simply look for day 8 and the hashtag Create with Gina, and you will be able to find that. And you do the same. This is day 10, so there are 9 previous videos, and you simply look for days 1 or whatever number you want, and the hashtag is Create with Gina. So what are we going to do today? Like I said, today is going to be rather simple and rather quick, but it's going to be what I believe a very effective method of dealing with some of the overwhelm that I think we might have been feeling this past week with everything that's been going on. So it's a simple method called brain dump, and typically it's used with businesses to kind of help employees to get a lot of ideas out of their head and get them organized. But for purposes of this, what we're doing, this is basically going to be dumping all of the different emotions we might be feeling onto a sheet of paper, and then I'm going to give you several methods of kind of releasing those emotions. I know I thought it would be something simple to do since it's Friday, and we've experienced quite a lot of changes over the last week, so I thought this would be a really good, simple but effective exercise to do. Now remember, if you're experiencing a lot, something a lot deeper than what we can resolve during a little session like this, please reach out to someone to talk to, or reach out to a doctor, make an appointment. I know this is kind of a difficult time to be, to try to make appointments, but if you do get to a point where things are getting a little bit too much, please feel free to reach out to someone, talk to someone, definitely make an appointment with a doctor, because the little activities that I'm doing are not meant to diagnose or treat any kind of condition or help to alleviate any symptoms from any kind of pre-existing condition you may have. These are simply tools that I'm teaching you to help you through some of the high anxiety that you might be experiencing during these particularly challenging periods. All right, so the first thing that we're going to be doing for this brain dump is literally drawing what looks like a brain. And now that I look at this, it's well, you get the idea. So you're going to draw something that looks like a brain, and once you've done that, what you're going to do is simply go inward a little bit into your head, and you're going to start writing down. So you're going to need either a pen or a pencil or a marker, it doesn't matter, and you're literally going to be writing down all of the different emotions that you might be feeling right now, or that you felt throughout the week. For example, I know that it's been the first week for many of you, you might be homeschooling for the first time and things were a little bit challenging, a little frustrating. Maybe you got really irritated with your kids. Maybe they got irritated with you. Maybe, anger flared up every once in a while. So if you are experiencing anything like that, go ahead and write that into your little brain. So any kind of negative emotion you might have felt or be feeling right now, write it into the brain. And we're literally going to take a minute to do this. So it's like I said, it's not going to be a long drawn out exercise, because the quicker you do it, the quicker you can connect with those emotions that you're feeling, write it down and release, and then we will move forward. And it's a very, very effective method. A lot of businesses use this for their employees when they're trying to get different ideas, and their minds might be filled with all of these ideas, and it's just a way of getting their ideas organized. But like I said, for today, we're just going to use it as a way of dumping all of these negative emotions that we might have been feeling this past week. So what about, maybe you were feeling really frustrated, you weren't able to go to work, I hate to say the word stuck at home with your kids, because where else would you rather be is at home with your children. But I know that being cooped up in a place with kids, especially if they're young and they're used to being out on the playground at a certain time, you can't say we can't go outside right now because blah 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 blah. Maybe they're teenagers and they're used to being able to hang out with their friends, and now they're not able to. So we know that that's a whole other issue. So whatever kind of frustration, if you're feeling frustration, I would definitely write that into your brain drawing. What about feeling overwhelmed? Maybe this is a little bit too much. You've never experienced something like this, and most of us have never experienced a global pandemic, especially with all of the changes that have been occurring. So maybe you're feeling a little bit of overwhelm. Maybe you get up early in the morning and you have to have breakfast ready, and then you getting the kids situated with their school. They're doing school online. You're not used to doing things like that, and it takes a little bit of learning on your part as well as the kids' part to kind of get everything together. So you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and it's quite understandable, because and I want you to know you're not the only one in that boat. There's quite a few families, I'm sure, that are going through the same thing. But this is just a way for you to just kind of relax and know that you're not alone. And just take that word overwhelm, write it into your brain drawing, and in a little while we're just going to release that. What about worry about finances? Maybe this is something that's heavily on your mind, and I know it's a lot of people are worried about that right now. If you are, one of the videos I'd suggest watching is day 8 of Create with Gina, where I go through ways for you to kind of connect with your own unique qualities that would help to serve you financially and otherwise in the future, should things not change rather quickly. Okay, so I would definitely recommend watching day 8 of the Create with Gina. So if you're worried about finances, I would put worried about finances onto your brain drawing, and we'll move on from there. Anger, we talked a little bit about that. If you're kind of cooped up in a home with a bunch of people, periodically anger is going to flare up. But it's probably getting even more so now, because it's been a whole week, maybe longer. Maybe a couple of you are sick, and I'm hoping that you're not. But if that's the case, then we know that anger tends to flare up even more, especially when you're cooped up even longer into a particular setting. So if you've been experiencing anger, let's go ahead and just write that into your brain drawing. So any kind of emotions, the negative emotions that you might be feeling, that you just kind of want to release, just to kind of bring down your level of anxiety for a little bit, go ahead and just take the next couple of seconds and write those in. Now, how are we going to kind of let go of them? Because I did say that this was called the 1 minute brain dump. So you're literally going to dump all of those negative emotions onto your drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and haven't written those in as yet. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to give you some ideas on how you can release these. So once you've finished your 1 minute brain dump, and I'm going to go ahead and just write something. So you can continue to fill yours in if you're still working on them. I did make my list. And I know that quite a few people in the lupus community do suffer from depression, and that was one of the diagnoses I received many years ago, shortly after I was diagnosed. If you are going through a really tough time and you're experiencing a higher level of depression, please reach out to your doctor. Do not try to go through this alone. I know it's hard enough being cooped up in a place, but if you are experiencing a period where you're just even more depressed than usual, please reach out to your doctor, reach out to someone, talk to someone about this. Do not try to go through this alone. Alright, so what we're going to do, once we've filled out your brain with all of the negative emotions you might have been feeling, 2 recommendations of how you can release them. You can simply fold it up, and what I do have is, let me see if I can lift this up. It is kind of hot right now, so I'm going to give you 2 options. One option is to simply rip up your piece of paper, and as you're tearing up your piece of paper, visualize all of the negative emotions that you wrote on there. Just visualize them kind of melting away out of your body. Another way is, after you've ripped them up, if they're tiny little pieces, you could simply kind of throw them to the wind. That is one way, as long as you're not going to be littering anywhere. I'm not encouraging littering, but as you're ripping them up, you're envisioning all of these are leaving your body, and if you decide that you're going to throw them to the wind, just envision the wind just kind of taking all of your worries away. So as you throw them to the wind and they start to blow, just imagine that they're being cast away in the wind. The other thing, and I have, I'm going to move the camera so you can see it. I do have, let me just flip this around for a moment. What I have here is a charcoal disc, and what I'm planning to do with mine is simply ripping it up, and then I'm going to be sprinkling it onto the charcoal to have it just burn. And as it is burning, then I'm envisioning the smoke just kind of taking all of my worries away. So there are several ways that you can release all of these negative emotions. And I'm going to go ahead and just rip a little piece so I can just kind of demonstrate to you how you're ripping, and you just envision all of these negative emotions just being released from your body. It's Friday. You have the weekend coming up. Think of some exciting things that you can be doing, even though, you're locked up. So what I'm going to do is just take these little pieces. I'm going to do it with the whole thing, but I just wanted to show you what I'll be doing here. So I'm going to flip the camera around again. And here's a charcoal, and I'm just going to place all of my little pieces on there, and they will start to burn. And what I'm going to do is take this outside so that it's well ventilated. But that is another idea, another way. And as the smoke is going, then it's just basically carrying your worries away. So there are different ways that you can kind of release the different negative emotions that you might be feeling at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this back around. So I hope your week was not too rough, but if it was, just you can simply use this as this technique as a way of kind of alleviating some of the overwhelm that you might have felt this past week. So just simply write it into the brain drawing, and as you're writing, just pay attention to your body. How is your body feeling? And just kind of, if you're tense, then tension could be one of the words that you write on your brain drawing. Just pay attention to how your body is feeling, and then write those emotions in. And as you're writing them, just imagine it just leaving your body. And think of something really fun that you can do with your family while you're indoors over the weekend. Forget about all of the stuff that's happened this past week, because it's all gone and there's nothing that, we can't go back and fix it. But we can live right now in the moment, releasing everything that has occurred, and just be appreciative and be thankful for what we have right this moment. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there and allow you to just go ahead and complete your activity. And I will see you tomorrow for day 11. Now, if you cannot show up live, that's fine. These are going to be recorded because I do understand that it is the weekend. But I hope you've been enjoying these. Feel free to take a picture of your brain drawing before you rip it up, or you can take a picture of it after you've ripped it up. It's entirely up to you. You can take an image of how you released and just post that as well. If you burnt it, then just simply take maybe. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention. You could also light a candle and just simply hold your paper in the flame in a safe area, of course, and so you don't want to start a fire. You don't want to start anything bigger than just what you're intending to burn. So if you could also do it that way, and just simply post images for me to see and to share with others of how you did your particular brain dump. And I will see you all again tomorrow. Thank you guys for being here.